guys, today's video is Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story. I hope you enjoy this tutorial and keep watching for more. So we start off by painting our faces white. I just used a kind of cheapish thing from like the pound store, dollar store, whatever you want to call it. I bought this straight after work, so it's kind of cheap, doesn't work very well, but I thought it would do. I also kind of PVA glued some tissue paper to my face. Normally I would use latex, but I did tissue paper. That's to give the illusion of a mask, as if your face has been ripped off. So it's kind of disgusting, and then you just cover it in blood. Twisty the Clown is quite terrifying. He's not supposed to look cute, he's not supposed to look playful, he is supposed to be terrifying. So the more messy, the better. And obviously the kind of muckier and untidier, the better too. What we're doing here is just coating some black eyeshadow. This is just a powder that I'm using. Coat it all over your eyes, kind of the eyelid under the eye. We're not going for a specific shape here because Twisty the Clown is not glamorous. Twisty the Clown is terrifying, so I don't think he cares how his eyeshadow looks. So once you've done that on both eyes, obviously just fill it out and make sure it's kind of even. And then what you want to do is put down the little triangles that Twisty has on his face under his eye. So they're black under his eye with a hint of red. To achieve this look, I use black eyeshadow with a hint of red eyeshadow. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is kind of draw the shape of a triangle on both eyes under, and we'll get to the reds later for above the eye. And I just used an angled brush to do this, and this is just me filling in the red, and it just gives it a little bit of kind of, it rounds off nicely, I think. So I think that worked well. Then what I'm doing is using it's basically like a cream, kind of black cream thing for Halloween, also from the pound store, and that's basically just to make the eyes a lot more intense, a lot darker, and basically just to scare the hell kind of out of anyone that looks at you on Halloween or whenever you decide to do this look. Now that dries pretty quickly, so I just took some water, dabbed it on my finger and smudged it in with that. Blends it a lot better and doesn't make it look as sharp and intense because we're not going for that type of look with that. So do that on both eyes until you've got the kind of desired effect that you are looking for. Here what I'm doing is basically filling out the shape of Twisty's mouth. He has a massive grin, and it's quite scary to look at, so the bigger the better. I just don't have the kind of biggest face or circumference of a face that you could have, but I just had to work with what I had. I didn't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of experience doing these kind of toothy grins before, so I just kind of winged it, and hopefully it worked out okay. What I'm doing here is just covering up the part where the teeth are going to go with a yellowish concealer, and that's basically because his teeth are a gross kind of yellowy colour, so no one wants bright white makeup shining through with that. Then I'm taking a black kind of gel makeup, also from the Halloween kit I bought at the pound store, and I'm just drawing out the quick stencil of the teeth. I found that this was the quickest way to do it because I'm quite conscious of my videos being too long. It's basically just a kind of a case of drawing lines down your face. He has quite big teeth. They're not necessarily straight, but they're not really unstraight. They're just kind of teeth that are massive and really dirty and really gross looking. So once you've done it, you do basically the exact same on the bottom. But before I did that, I just decided to kind of go ahead and draw my line first. The makeup I used smudged a lot and it really annoyed me. I just kind of tried to cover it up again with concealer and yellow eyeshadow. So once you've done that, I put the bottom teeth on then, and I found it a lot easier to kind of match them up and make them look kind of like teeth as much as I could for doing it for my first time. After that, I did an outline around the whole kind of mouth, and then an outline or an inline around the kind of nostril area of my nose. Basically this is to give it more dimension, and then I kind of brought it out slightly to make it look as though it's like the kind of where the cheeks would be. Then I took a purple kind of jelly cream paint and just lathered it on between the line that I'd drawn, the lines that I'd drawn previously, with the red liner, and I just kind of around the area of the mouth that we've just created there. So I started off with a purple, then what I did is went on to a darker purple, and then a red, and then I went through the outline with black, and I'll go in and then a bit more depth in a wee second when I show you. So you may have noticed by now that I decided to speed this video up a lot of areas. I ended up with 20 clips, so I had to trim it down as much as I could. This is me filling out the black. This is basically to give kind of a lot more dimension and make it look a lot deeper and darker, kind of in the mouth. This is optional, I think it made it look much better. And then I just outlined the rest of the mouth and kind of blended it in as much as I could. What I'm doing here is the red triangles that Twisty has on the kind of top of his eye. Twisty doesn't have eyebrows, which is good for me because it meant today I didn't have to have a kind of strong kind of brow game today. I didn't need to do them, so that was so much fun. Basically it's just a case of drawing a triangle on top of each eye and making sure it blends into the black. I wish that I had done them much thinner because Twisty's triangles are thinner and nicer than mine. After that, I just took a white eyeshadow and went over the teeth, and basically that's because I felt like the yellow was slightly too intense and I just wanted to brighten them up just a little bit. So a mixture of the white and the yellow kind of gave me this gross kind of grotty look that I wouldn't want my own teeth to look like, and I felt like that worked kind of really well with the look, so I kept it. Then I just did some outlines in black, basically just to kind of age the face slightly. I did some on my forehead and some slight ones there. I kind of wish I'd put stitches through it now, just for a bit of a different effect, but maybe next time. Here I'm just rounding the teeth off a lot more, and it basically gives you a much more kind of gumsy shape. And I hope you enjoyed this video because that is you finished.